Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. I'm back today with my 3-monthly sales report, and Coco was here to join me. She's a little bit clingy today. Chris has gone away. For those that are new to the channel and haven't seen what I do, I have a second-hand shop in the small town that we live. I sell my handmade products in there. I also sell them online and via social media. Every 3 months, I share with you what sales I've made, what products I've actually sold, and how much of each of them as well. And this time I'll try to remember to put my expenses on there as well, so that you've got a better idea of the profits that I make when I sell my products. Everything that I make is made with second-hand or salvaged fabric. Most of it is upholstery fabric samples that I get from furniture warehouses. I also get a lot of fabric brought into the shop that is from deceased estates that people don't want to see thrown away. Come along and I will share with you my top 10 sales for the last 3 months and give you a comparison now that I have more figures for last year and the year before. And for those that are regular watchers, you all know what's going to be number one. For every product that I show you today, there'll be a link in the description box below showing you exactly how to make all of these products. Hang around whilst I share with you what I've sold this last quarter. At number 10 for this quarter are these little vinyl card wallets. All they are is just one strip of vinyl. There's no lining, there's a snap button on the inside, and it's been folded over twice so that you can pop a little card in there or pop some notes in there as well. So I sell these for $5 each. I've sold 3 of them, which has earned me $15. These are super quick to make. They're made out of a vinyl strip that's slightly longer and narrower than this. The only expense I've had on this were my little plastic snaps. I don't think I could even put 10 cents on that. So aside from my time, the plastic snaps were the only expense. I think from memory I can make about 10 to 12 of these an hour. So that gives me an hourly rate of about $60 to $70 an hour. At number 9 are my Itty Bitty bags. I recently did a video where I made the Itty Bitty bags out of box corner scraps. These are the original version and this is the new one, just using scraps out of my box corner bags. These have been selling really well, whereas these ones, I was a little bit concerned for the first year or so whether or not I should still have them. I only sell them for $10 each, but using up the scraps means that the fabric is already cut out and it doesn't eat into my labour costs. So they're $10 each. I sold 3 of them, which earned me $30. The expenses for these were my little swivel clips. I think I pay about 30 cents a clip for these, and the zip as well, and the zips are only about 40 cents, so less than $1 worth of physical expenses, and then we've got my labor cost on top of that. I can get about 6 or 8 of these done in an hour. Coming in at number 8, I can't show you any shop stock because I've got nothing left, but I do have my own kitchen boa. These are the kitchen tea towels. You've got the fabric that hangs around your neck and the towel draped over each side. So I made a whole heap of these. I was selling them in the shop for $25 each. These are one of the items that I won't be selling anymore, only because I do have to buy new tea towels to make them. It's really difficult to find nice quality tea towels at a decent price. Kitchen boas I sold for $25. I sold 3 of those and they earned me $75. The tea towels themselves work out at about $1 to $2 each, depending on how much I have to pay for them at the time. And the fabric is always a rescued fabric, so there was no cost for the fabric. Just a little bit of time to make these up. I can make about 4 of these an hour. If I really knuckled down, I could probably make a lot more. These are super quick to make. That was a kitchen boa. Coming in at number 7 are my shoe bags, or my expandable storage bags. I make these in a few different sizes, usually just out of whatever piece of fabric that I have. They're unlined and they've got the zipper in the front, but they open out to give you lots of storage space on the inside. So they've got a little fold on the side here, which makes them an expandable storage bag. Great for wine bottles as a gift bag. Great for knitting projects, storing your hairdryer and straighteners and that sort of thing. I've been making these bags for about 3 years now. They've been in the top 10 every single time over the last couple of years. I sold 6 of those and that's earned me $120. I sell them for $20 each. The only expense for these ones are my zips. I buy continuous zips by the metre, so I usually buy a 200 metre roll, and I purchase about 500 sliders at a time as well. The zips and my labels probably cost me about $1.50 all up. I get a really good system happening when I make these. I can make about 4 of these an hour, and so that works out about $80 an hour just to make up these bags, and the only expense I have is the zip. Of course, labour is an expense. My labour includes what I want as an hourly rate, taxes, thread, consumables, all of those sorts of things that I need to factor in to run my business. At number 6, and I'm really pleased these bags have made the list again. I think last quarter they actually may have been on top. These are my Softbox bags. This is the Softbox bag 2.0. These are the ones that I made in the video I finished a couple of weeks ago where I did 33 bags. For the short period of time since I've made these have been the best product I've had in the shop ever. Well, next to my supermarket shopping bags. But these have been fantastic. This quarter I sold 6 of the Softbox bags. I was selling them at $35 each. I have just put the price up to $45 each because they were going way too quickly, and these ones are bigger than the last ones anyway. So 6 of those at $35 each, which earned me $210. Now the expense for these was the webbing that I use, my zips, my little pulls, and my labels. The fabric pieces and the lining were all free to me, so I don't charge for that. And of course, every single product I sell has a little tag about my store as well, so that's an extra cost. They're only a few cents each. I can make just under 2 of these in an hour. I make about 40% profit on my labour costs and then my material costs, which were only around $3. I sold 6 of these, which earned me $210. Had I not taken so long to make the other 30 bags, I would have sold a lot more of these. So these potentially could have got further up the list. At number 5, we have something little here. These are my little chapstick holders. These are just made out of remnants of fabric, so even though I get my fabric for free, these are just scraps that I haven't thrown out. The only cost I have are these little swivel clips up here, which I think I said about 30 cents each. They'll hold your lipstick, your chapstick, and they've been quite popular. I've sold 7 of these. I sell them in the shop for $10 each or 2 for $15. It surprises me how many people do actually purchase one of these at $10. So I'm happy with that. Scraps of fabric, they take barely any time to make it all. I can whip up about 10 of these in an hour, so that gives me a really good hourly rate. I mean, that's potentially $100 an hour plus the 30 cents for each one of these. So 7 chapstick holders, I sold those for $55. At number 4 is another large product, and these are my giant utility bags. For the size and price of these, they've been selling quite well, and I've had to make up another batch of them in the last few weeks. So just like my Softbox bags, I've got the webbing at the top for the handle. Most of this is usually an offcut from ends of rolls or bits that I have hanging around. Then I've got my label on the side, and of course I've got the zip and the zipper pull. I sell them in varying sizes. Some of them are a little bit shorter, and they vary in price from $35 to $45 each. These ones here are the bigger ones, they're $45. I sold 8 of those, and that's earned me $310. Coming in at number 3, and this is the last time you're going to see them, are my Helping Hands card holders. These are just DVDs or CDs wrapped with fabric and batting. They've got a button on each side. You just pop your playing cards to the inside, and they do hold loads of cards. Fantastic for kids when you're playing Uno, if you're playing canasta or 5 crowns and you can't hold all of your cards. They're absolutely fantastic. Kids love them, and great for people with arthritis as well. Those that have been watching these videos for a while know that I'm really tired of making these. I've made hundreds of them, and it's just not enjoyable to make them anymore. So these are the last 3 that I have left in the store. I sell them for $15 each, and I've sold 15 of them in the last 3 months, which has earned me $225. The CDs or DVDs were all free. The buttons are mostly from deceased estates, so there have been no costs except for the price of my labels and the wear and tear to my hands. I can make about 4 or 5 of these an hour. Most of the time I do these by hand. I sit on the couch in the evening watching a movie and I'll just mindlessly stitch these together. So they're good to make. They're a great money earner. I'm just really tired of them. So 15 helping hands at $15 each for $225. Coming in at number 2 are my zippered bags. Now I have a big assortment of zippered bags. These are all made with upholstery fabric, so I've joined a couple of different pieces to the top and bottom. This one here has vinyl with fabric strips at the top. They're all sample swatch fabrics. Same with this one here. They're whatever I can find on a sample board I'll put together. And this one here is the fabric that I used in the Softbox bags version 1, which were a brilliant product to have. The expense for these ones was the zipper tape, whether it be the regular zip or the continuous zip, and the little tags that I have hanging from the top as well, and of course my labels. I've sold 23 zippered bags and they vary in price from $15 up to about $30 to $35. The average price of these is $20 to $25. So 23 of them, which earned me $470. Which brings me to my final product, and yes, you've all guessed it. The top selling product once again is my supermarket shopping bags. Currently I have 30 different colourways hanging outside the shop, and these are just some of them. They're really boring colours. I think 99% of the bags that I have out the front are solid colours. There's no prints or designs in them. And when I first started making them, I didn't think that they were going to go very well at all, being just plain boring colours. But the solid colours have actually been really good sellers. I can make about 8 of these an hour. I have a really good system happening when I make these, when I mass produce these. I sell them for $15 each. And again, the only expense I have are my labels and the webbing that I use for the handles. Of course, every product I have has an Australian made label and it has my little story about my fabric journey. This time around I sold 32 of these bags in the last 3 months and that earned me $480. So every quarter I think maybe I should stop making these, but they just keep on selling. So that brings me to the end of my top 10. Now that's not all I've sold over the last 3 months. I think there are about another 13 or 14 products that I've sold 1 or 2 of, and several items that I've made that are just one-offs or samples that I don't plan on selling in the shop in the future. So all up, I ended up selling 127 items either through the shop or my website or through social media. It is winter time here now, so sales will be a lot less than what they are in spring, summer and autumn. But 127 items during the quieter time of the year is not too bad. A couple of things that haven't made it to the list this quarter, and it's my own fault that they haven't, are my crossbody bags. So I have several different types of crossbody bags. These are just 2 of them, all made with sample fabric. There is a third one that I have that I've completely sold out of. So they didn't make the list this time because I didn't have enough to sell. In the next couple of weeks, I've really got to knuckle down and make a whole batch of crossbody bags because they do sell very well as long as I have the right style. I'll pop a link in the description for the one that sells the best, and hopefully I'll get some time to make some more up. The other thing that's missing is the boxed bags. So I sell lots of boxed bags. You've seen the giant utility bag and the big Softbox bag. I sell smaller versions of boxed bags as well. They didn't make it to the list because once again, I don't have enough stock on the shelves. So I'm sure I would have had a lot more sales this last quarter had I had those extra 2 products in stock. But what can you do? You can only make so many items. You've only got so much space in the shop or on your displays. You just simply can't have absolutely everything, but you can try. Okay, so let's find out what my totals were for the last 3 months compared to the same period last year and I also have records from the year before, so we'll go through those as well. Now this sales period is April to June. From April to June 2022, I didn't write down how many products I've sold, but I did sell $2,859 worth of handmade products through the shop. The same period last year, April to June in 2023, I sold 134 items, and that earned me $2,533. So I actually sold less items last year than I did the year before. Last year our tourist park was devastated by flooding, so that had a huge impact on sales. This last financial year I sold 127 items, which earned me $2,358. It's about $170 less than last year and even less than the previous year. I'm not concerned about that at all. Back in 2022, Chris and I had our shops open a lot more days. We're now down to 3 days and only open on weekends, which is our peak period. So I'm not disappointed about the amount of sales. I know that had I had those extra softbox bags, the crossbody bags and the box bags, had I had extra stock of those made up, I would have been able to increase those sales and potentially even made more sales than either of the other 2 years. I think that's it for this quarter. I don't have any particular products that I hate that I'm not going to sell anymore. You know I don't like making my Helping Hands card holders. The hanging tea towels, I'm not making any of those. I did sell the last few that I had, and I reduced those down to $10 and then $5 just to get rid of the stock. I found that as I was putting the products out the front, the towels were actually fading and I didn't have anywhere suitable inside the shop to hang them. So I decided I wasn't going to make those. And again, I needed to source brand new towels to make them. So it wasn't viable for me. Supermarket shopping bags, I am really running low in stock. I used to have several hundred in stock at any one time, and I think I'm down to about 100 or so at the moment. I've really got to knuckle down and make some more because I know when I've got even more colours for people to choose from, they sell even better. I've got to make some crossbody bags. I need to make a lot more zippered bags because they've been selling so well, and the box bags as well. There's lots of little projects I need to make as well, the itty bitty bags. There's some bookmarks that I want to make. I just haven't had time to do those. I think they'll sell really well in the shop when I can get time to make them up. I hope you've enjoyed this latest sales report, and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.